Cassiar Gold is a gold exploration company which is led by a team of serially successful mining executives from people that have discovered mines, expanded mines, developed mines, built mines, and run mines all over the world. We're also very lucky because we have in our flagship project, the Cassiar Gold project, a wealth of infrastructure because it's a past producing district. So we have 2 Mines Act permits already in place, a full union permitted mill, 25 kilometers of underground development already in place, Highway 37 bisecting our property, 160 kilometers of property access roads. So we're very, very lucky on that sense. But this is only as valuable as the exploration or the resource size or the exploration potential, and we do have a lot of that. So we have a 1.4 million ounce resource inferred at 1.14 grams per ton, right at surface, and it's effectively open laterally in most directions as well as at depth. We have the past producing Cassiar South high-grade veins where 315,000 ounces of production have historically come from. And most of these vein systems are open along strike, and there's a lot of room for parallel and SAG vein systems. And then we have a multitude of regional scale targets, many of which could be as big, if not bigger, than Taurus deposit, which again remains open as well. So a lot of exploration potential. We have the social license to operate, and last but not least, we're very, very attractively valued. Our market cap right now is roughly 35 million. We have 7 million in the bank, and our goal really is to prove this district because we believe a project like this in a safe jurisdiction with all this infrastructure, with all this exploration potential, will in all likelihood be developed by a major. But we'll be waiting for the right time to really unlock that value and give it to a major at the right time for the right price, of course. The Cassiar Gold project is a 59,000 hectare land package, truly district scale potential. It's bisected by Highway 37, so that's really what separates Cassiar North from Cassiar South. There's really not a specific geological difference between Cassiar North and Cassiar South, but now, and for the most part, Cassiar North is comprised mostly of these bulk tonnage, near surface, open pitable targets similar to the Taurus deposit, which remains open, and the Cassiar South is where most of the historical high-grade underground vein systems come from. So that these veins are on average 2 to 3 meter thick, 10 to 20 grams per ton on average, so typically Cassiar North will see more open pitable bulk tonnage style. At Cassiar South, typically we see more high-grade underground veins, but these things can change in the future, so let's see what happens in the future. Absolutely. So really, just going back to our resource. So we have the Taurus resource at 1.4 million ounces at 1.14 grams per ton, which is open laterally and at depth. So we don't know how big it's going to get. But what's really exciting is when we have a district scale land package like we have, and with targets like we have the potential for not only one Taurus, but actually a herd of these Tauri. So we have potential for many of our priority regional targets like New Coast, Lucky, Snow Creek to be as big, if not bigger, than Taurus. So it really starts adding up. And there's also an even bigger potential, which is a potential that these systems are actually connected, in which case that's really the blue sky potential here, but there's a lot of work ahead of us. I'll be happy just with a few satellite deposits similar to Taurus, but obviously the dream is that the whole system connects and then we have truly a monster here, but we have to take it one step at a time. The Sheep Creek district is a district that until 1951 has yielded nearly 3/4 million ounces at nearly 15 grams per ton. So it's a very, very prospective asset. This is mostly from underground high-grade veins, similar to what we have from the historical production at Cassiar South. So there's a lot of exploration potential there. Right now we're 100% focused at the Cassiar Gold project, but we know the value of this Sheep Creek district. So the way we're looking to unlock value for our shareholders there is either through selling it or optioning it ideally to a major. And we've been having several conversations. In fact, just here at Beaver Creek, we had some conversations on that. So it's a project that has a lot of potential, and that we expect to generate shareholder value here, again, through M&A or JV, or eventually if we have the capital, if we have more capital, we can unlock that value ourselves through drilling it ourselves. So we do expect to generate a lot of shareholder value in the future with that secondary asset, the Sheep Creek district. Absolutely. So as of early 2022, we put out an updated resource. So that's where we have the 1.4 million ounces at 1.14 grams per ton inferred. Last year we drilled across our project 23,000 meters, 13,000 around the Cassiar North and Taurus area. So in the whole program for last year, from the 23,000 meters, we drilled 70 drill holes. And only one drill hole didn't intercept mineralization above the Taurus cutoff grade, which is 0.5 in significant widths. So we've been having a very high success rate, a very high hitting rate with our drilling. And this year, we're basically nearing right now 15,000 meters. We just put out a press release today. So about these results, I can't talk about what's coming out there, but we'll obviously have a lot of news flow coming. But there's a potential for a resource update in Q1 2024, so in just a few months. And that could potentially incorporate additional drilling in addition to what we had at the beginning of 22 in the last resource update. So that can have significant and meaningful impact in the resource. And yeah, in following that, we're also going to be having some discussions on how to unlock value for the future for the company, either through economic studies, but we still need to assess what we have, how can we unlock value or prove up the value to the market, because we have a project that's, it's, in my opinion, quite undervalued, and maybe there's some misunderstanding about what we have, and maybe a resource update, maybe these economic studies could really translate to the market the value that we have here at the Cassiar Gold project. Yeah, we have several tailings facilities at the Cassiar Gold project. Honestly, there's some sampling done, and the grades there were, just around the gram or slightly over. I don't think that's going to be, a big near-term value creation opportunity, and the reason for that is, some companies or some people do like to focus on that because the tailings are right at surface and ready to be processed or reprocessed, really. We're very, very lucky because both the Taurus deposit is effectively right at surface, so we have a lot of mineralization right at surface, and also, the Cassiar South on the high-grade veins, we have underground workings taking us to very, very close to the mineralized high-grade unmined underground veins. So we have a lot of near-term potential to unlock value through mineralization close to surface. So and that mineralization is actually a lot more attractive than trying to go for the tailings. But obviously, that becomes even more attractive when we have two Mines Act permits, both at the Taurus deposit, in and around the Taurus deposit, as well as the Cassiar South Table Mountain mine permit, as well as a fully owned and permitted mill, as well as all the infrastructure we have. Power lines, we have access to the grid, we have to grid power, we have access to water, we have 25 kilometers of underground development. So that really puts us in a unique position to potentially unlock value in the near term with unmined mineralization, as opposed to try to focus on tailings, which we have 4 tailings facilities across our project, but we have a lot more attractive near-term opportunities to unlock value there. Yeah, absolutely. So we just put out a press release this morning. So we have great results. We've just expanded mineralization, to 23 meters or around 23 meters at roughly just 4.19 grams per ton, very high grade. It's roughly 300 meters below surface, but what's interesting is actually just below the pit shell of the Taurus deposit. So we're effectively expanding mineralization just underneath the Taurus deposit, effectively expanding mineralization at depth, We've been expanding mineralization at depth successfully and laterally as well around the Taurus deposit. So that deposit is, the mineralization around the Taurus deposit is expanding effectively. So we also have basically roughly at least 12,000 meters more of news flow coming within the next few weeks and months. So it's going to be a very news flow heavy season. We've been drilling quite extensively, not only in and around the Taurus deposit, mostly through expansionary drilling. We also been drilling at the Cassiar South. We've been drilling some of these really exciting targets that I mentioned in the beginning. New Coast, Lucky, Wings Canyon, Taurus East. These priority targets can really start to unlock new avenues of growth for the property, and it's quite exciting. It's quite exciting to see what's coming out there. So we'll have to wait for the results, and then following that we have a potential resource update. But I think there's a lot of value to be unlocked, especially when you look at the valuation that we have. We look at our resource base, you look at our infrastructure, you look at the valuation. It's a very compelling story, and that's really the feedback I've been receiving since, with all the meetings that we've been having here, both from institutional investors, from corporates, and I think we have a very compelling story with a lot of news flow coming out in the next few weeks and months.